Hey, this is Allie Edwards, and welcome to day 16. On my table there, you can see that I have two full-page photos so that I can cover two different stories today. One is showing a photo of all the kids' advent calendars, and the other one is a photo of Audrey when we were celebrating her birthday. So on top of the advent calendar photo, I am adding some speech bubbles. These were from the Read collection. I'm using the back of them, so the other side has Read-related designs. Those are still available in the shop, and I'll link those as well. But I love the idea that I could use them to highlight each of the kids getting a completely different advent calendar this year. Simon and Isaac got Lego ones. One of them got Lego Star Wars, and the other one got Harry Potter. Elliot picked out a LOL surprise chocolate one. Anna picked out a random Christmas chocolate one. She said it wasn't awesome. And Audrey picked out a Mochi squishy one. Mochi? Mochi. Anna's sitting here. She says mochi. Anyway, so it was fun to document each one of those just with using the speech bubbles to point towards which one of the advent calendars belongs to which kid. And I used, you can see the gold puffy stickers that are, or puffy alphabet stickers that are included in the main kit. It's kind of a fun picture to take too in my, the area off of our kitchen. And I did one for Isaac too. Isaac's is in his bedroom, so we can't see it. But I included a little label with his name on there. So the other thing I did for this one, well, here I am going to punch the holes so that it matches up with yesterday for day 15, and going to trim that down just a little bit. The page that I have for my foundation pages / product play 3 is what I called a cascading hexagon. And you're going to see that in just a minute here. And that is going to be between these two pages. The other thing I decided to do was take one of the label stickers that I have in my stash, and I grabbed a small alphabet stamp. At first I thought I would use the stamps from the Read collection, but I didn't think I thought they were going to be too big. So I pulled out another little set that I have. I looked for them online, but I couldn't find them. They're from Hampton Art, and it's like a Studio G is a sub-brand. I think they're from Michaels, is where you can get them, but obviously you can just use what you have. But this is one that I had in my drawer, one of these mini ones. And over the years, I used to do a lot more individual stamping like this. I don't do it all the time, but I always like it when I do. I like the mixed up look of the different letters and not having it be perfect. And so what I did is I just wrote Advent or stamped using StazOn. Make sure you use StazOn with these label stickers if you have them, because they're a more shiny or glossy finish to them. And then went ahead and just added that onto the bottom, kind of the center area of my photo, and then adhered that onto the back of the photo from yesterday. And forgive my voice, I must be getting a cold because I'm starting to lose my voice here now too, and it's getting really shaky. Just trimming off the excess then that always happens whenever I adhere something back to back like that. But I like how that one turned out. I thought that was a fun way to approach documenting the advent calendars, which is something that I document pretty much every year. Often I do it more in the beginning of the month, and this time I just waited a little bit longer. So there you can see that hexagon page. Floating hexagons, they are on a graphics plastic sheet. They're using the chipboard bundle of hexagons. Chipboard bundle 1, I think, included hexagons. Then I also used a Fiskars punch to punch some additional ones out of pattern paper, and that's all covered in the Product Play 3 workshop. Next up, I took one of the story cards from the story card bundle. I rounded the top edges there, the top left and right edge, and decided to add the date on there. And then I decided to use those alpha stamps again to write celebrating Audrey's birthday. And obviously this is sped up because sometimes this takes a lot longer than it looks like. And again, my goal when I'm doing this is definitely not perfection. Like, I'm not trying to make it perfect there as I'm going about the process of stamping them on there. And kind of just trying to decide, first I was trying to decide, was I going to try to squish her name in there? What did I want to do? I ended up giving each word its own line, which worked out well because then I, was able to make space for an 11 that I ended up embossing on there for the actual her birthday year, or turning 11, and you'll see that here in a couple of minutes. The 11, or the numbers that I'm using, it's from I think it was called the Time. So the stamp said that had something to do with time when we released it originally. I don't think they have any left, but I went through some of my numbers, and those were the ones that seemed to make the most sense for this one. I used Versamark embossing ink to stamp those two number ones right next to each other, and then I'm using Ranger gold embossing ink on top of them, and then heating it up with the heat gun to set it in place. I always love how that ends up looking. And in this case, I also used the foam adhesive on the back. Well, first of all, I added another one of those star brads. I'm gonna have to look for those again sometime because I love using them. It's one of my favorite things to add into the projects. And then used the foam adhesive to go ahead and adhere that onto the page itself. So definitely a fun one today. I thought it was fun to incorporate a couple different stories into one day, and utilize that cascading hexagon in between.